welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so today we've got this fascinating source material all about financial literacy.
Yeah, but not just the usual stuff.
No, exactly. Our mission here is to really dig into what these sources call the four kind of essential rules. The ones that apparently separate the financially independent folks from, well, everyone else.
And we probably need to define a couple of terms right off the bat. Financial education or literacy. That's basically the baseline, right?
Yeah, like knowing the concepts, having the skills to make, smart decisions with the money you have.
But the sources draw this really interesting distinction in the goals.
Right. There's financial freedom. That's the one everyone talks about.
Getting to the point where you don't need the job or the company handouts or family money.
Yeah, it's purely about how much cash you've got stacked up.
Yeah.
Amount.
But then there's what they call financial confidence. And honestly, this feels deeper.
Okay.
It's not about the bank balance. It's about your internal system, your belief, your skill, your ability to actually generate money.
So freedom is the outcome, but confidence is the engine, the thing that keeps producing.
Exactly. Confidence is the process. Freedom might be the result of that process.
And the whole foundation for this, the sources say, is kind of wild. They argue this whole idea of money being scarce is, well, they say, deeply untrue.
Which is pretty provocative.
Totally. They're basically saying the world is just littered with money, and getting it is like a game with rules.
And if you don't know those rules,
you lose.
Yeah.
Simple as that. So we're going to unpack those four rules today.
But first, we have to tackle this paradox they bring up, the financial ignorance paradox.
Right. If this information, these rules, are apparently out there, often for free, think libraries, internet.
Everywhere.
Then why are 90+% of people still financially, ignorant?
It is baffling when you put it like that.
And you see it play out. The sources give this example. Peter.
Yeah, Peter.
He gets his paycheck, say, $1,700 after tax, and poof, gone.
On what they call useless liabilities.
Barbecues, shoes, maybe a slightly fancier coffee maker. Things that are nice, sure, but give zero return down the line.
And that failure, that inability to turn income into something productive, has really harsh outcomes. Look at the lottery statistic they cite.
Oh, that one's brutal.
70%. 70% of lottery winners end up bankrupt.
After just a few years. They become millionaires overnight, and then nothing.
It just hammers home the point, doesn't it? Financial education, that skill set, it's required for keeping wealth, not just getting it by luck.
Wealth is definitely a skill, not just a windfall.
Yeah.
So, okay, if the info's there, why the Ohioans? Why don't people grab this knowledge?
Well, the sources dig into two main reasons, psychological ones mostly.
Okay.
First is conventional wisdom, all those things we hear growing up.
Like money doesn't grow on trees.
Exactly. Or even the more loaded stuff, like money is the root of all evil. If you subconsciously think money is scarce or bad,
you're not going to chase it very hard.
Oh.
Or you'll feel guilty if you do.
Right. It creates this mental block, a scarcity mindset. You're taught the right way is just work hard, save pennies, be defensive.
Got it. So that's reason one. What's the other?
The second one is about the comfort zone and self-esteem. Building wealth, especially starting something, it involves risk. It means stepping out, being visible, maybe failing publicly.
And that's scary for most people.
Definitely. The sources argue people might actually be afraid of success, or at least the changes success brings. They talk about needing to see yourself rich first.
Like a self-fulfilling prophecy thing.
Kind of. It takes confidence, self-esteem to take those calculated risks, like getting a big loan for a business idea if you don't believe in yourself enough to risk failing.
You stay stuck.
Yeah.
In the comfort zone. Financially ignorant, but, safe.
Precisely. Comfortably poor, maybe?
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. The
Yeah.
info's there, but internal resistance, scarcity thinking, low confidence stops people from acting. So if those are the blocks, let's get to the rules. The actions needed to actually play this money game. How do we connect overcoming that fear to rule number one?
Well, rule number one is basically the antidote to inaction born from ignorance. It's don't invest in what you don't understand.
Okay, and the sources are pretty blunt here. They say you'll never get truly wealthy just working for someone else. Investing isn't just nice to have, it's mandatory.
Absolutely. But the first investment, the most critical one,
Let me guess.
yourself.
Bingo. Investing in yourself, your
Yeah.
brain, your skills. That's your core money-making machine.
So continuously learning, staying updated in your field,
Yeah.
making sure you don't become obsolete.
Exactly. Acquiring the knowledge you need to actually operate smartly in whatever financial area you choose.
Right, and once you've got that foundation, then you look at the other investment vehicles.
Yes, but always through the lens of Rule 1. Understand it first. The philosophy is simple. Knowledge reduces risk.
Okay, so let's tick through the ones they mentioned. First up, invest in your business. Yeah, and think of it like a machine needing fuel. You put money in marketing, R&D, whatever, to make it grow bigger, faster.
But only if you actually understand the mechanics of your business.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just gambling.
Precisely. Then there's invest in real estate.
The classic buy low, sell high.
Well, yeah, but the sources emphasize the skill involved. Spotting undervalued properties, knowing renovation costs, managing the project. It's about creating value, not just waiting for the market.
So it requires real expertise. It's not passive if you're doing it right initially.
Not at all. If you don't have that knowledge or time, your risk shoots way up.
Okay, and the last one they list is invest in stocks.
Buying a piece of a company, getting a share of profits.
Everyone says it's risky.
And it is if you're ignorant. The sources argue the risk is directly tied to how much you don't know. If you understand the company, its market, its finances better than the average person.
Then it becomes a calculated risk, not just a lottery ticket.
Exactly. If you don't have that deep knowledge, maybe stick to broader things like index funds.
So the overarching theme for Rule 1 is research, research, research. And be wary of advice from people who aren't actually doing what they preach.
That's the skin in the game idea. Only trust those who have succeeded with the exact strategy they're recommending.
Right. Okay, that leads us nicely into what feels like a really controversial one. Rule number 2. Debt is a powerful but deadly weapon.
Oh yeah, this one definitely pushes buttons. We're basically programmed to see all debt is bad.
Totally. Pay off your mortgage, cut up credit cards. That's the standard advice. Are these sources saying we should, actively get into debt?
Not exactly actively get into just any debt. They're saying stop demonizing it. See it as a tool, like a lever, but you have to know how to use it.
Okay, so how do they differentiate?
Crucially, between bad debt and good debt. Bad debt is, well, it's pretty much anything that just drains your wallet without giving you a productive asset back, or debt you realistically can't pay off.
And they use student loans as a key example of potentially bad debt. Which is interesting because wasn't Rule 1 about investing in yourself? Isn't education an investment?
And that's the painful conflict, isn't it?
Yeah.
It can be good debt if that specific degree gives you skills that lead to a much higher income, easily covering the loan costs, then great, it functioned as good debt.
Right.
But if it's a degree in an oversaturated field or the interest is crippling and it doesn't actually boost your income enough, then it becomes bad debt, destructive debt.
And the sources criticize asking an 18-year-old to make that huge financial gamble without full context.
Exactly. It's often setting them up for failure.
Okay, so bad debt drains you. What makes debt good debt?
2 things. 1, you need to be absolutely confident you can repay it, ideally with a clear plan. 2, it has to make you money. It needs to generate more income than it costs.
Like an accelerator.
Perfect word. Think of a well-researched business loan. You borrow money to buy equipment that immediately lets you produce and sell more. The debt pays for itself and generates extra profit.
So it speeds up your wealth creation faster than just saving up.
That's the idea. Using leverage wisely.
Okay, investment understood, debt as a tool. Now, Rule 3 feels like it shifts gears into mindset again. Rule number 3, think rich.
Yeah, and this one is really easy to misunderstand.
Because it sounds like go spend money you don't have, which seems dumb.
Right. And traditional advice is solid. Live below your means. That's good defense, protects what you have.
But thinking rich is offense.
It's an offensive strategy, yeah. But it's not primarily about spending.
Wait, help me out here. If I start acting rich by buying fancy stuff, won't I just end up broke?
The sources mention skipping expensive coffees. Doesn't that add up?
Okay, look. The sources argue that focusing on saving $5 on coffee keeps you locked in that scarcity mindset. The problem isn't the coffee.
The problem is
only having the capacity where saving $5 feels significant. You're thinking small, pinching pennies.
Okay. So the goal isn't just less spending, it's more earning capacity.
Exactly. Shift the focus. Instead of how little can I spend, ask how much value can I generate? How can I earn enough so the coffee is irrelevant? So it's about developing skills to support the lifestyle you want, which in turn changes your whole outlook. You start seeing possibilities instead of just restrictions.
Precisely. You move from scarcity to abundance thinking.
That flows perfectly into the final rule then. Rule number 4, develop skills to acquire assets. This sounds like the how-to for increasing that capacity.
It absolutely is. And first, the core definitions need to be crystal clear. Assets. Things that put money in your pocket. Simple.
And liabilities.
Things that take money out of your pocket. Your house payment, your car payment, that fancy coffee machine. Unless you're renting it out, maybe.
Unlikely. And Rule 1 said the brain is the biggest asset.
Which means Rule 4 is about actively developing that asset to acquire other assets. Specifically, developing high-income skills.
Okay, what constitutes a high-income skill according to the sources? Not just any skill, right?
Right. We're talking about skills that bring significant, measurable value to the marketplace. Things people or companies will pay a lot for because the results are substantial.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Think advanced coding, specialized copywriting that drives massive sales, high-level strategic consulting, maybe complex data analysis. Skills where your output directly generates big revenue or solves very expensive problems.
So it's about becoming valuable enough that you can essentially generate income from your skills, from almost nothing.
That's the ultimate goal. Deliver results, get paid well. Then use that income to buy those traditional assets, real estate, stocks, businesses, which further cements your financial standing and disproves that old scarcity idea.
Wow, okay. That was quite a journey. We went from defining financial confidence
that internal ability to generate,
to looking at the scarcity mindset blocks,
conventional wisdom, fear, failure,
and then hitting these 4 big rules.
Yeah.
Understand what you invest in, starting with yourself.
Use debt strategically, don't just fear it.
Think rich by focusing on expanding capacity, not just restricting pennies.
And finally, develop those high-value skills to acquire assets.
So wrapping this all up, what's the core message for someone listening right now?
I think the sources really hammer this home. The knowledge is out there, it's accessible. The real hurdle seems to be psychological.
The willingness to act on advice that might feel uncomfortable, counterintuitive.
Exactly. Taking calculated risks, stepping outside that comfort zone, having the self-esteem to try and maybe fail, that seems to be the biggest predictor of financial success, according to this material.
Okay, so here's a final thought to leave you with, building on that. If the knowledge is free and confidence or comfort zone is the main barrier holding most people back,
Yeah.
what's one single, relatively low-risk action you can take this week related to learning a new skill? Maybe one of those high-income ones, just to practice pushing that boundary.
Ooh, good question.
Maybe it's finally signing up for that intro coding course you keep seeing ads for. Or just blocking out time to read a chapter of that dense book on market analysis. Something small, but deliberate.
A small step to build that confidence muscle.
Exactly. Just something to get started. Think about that one small risk. Apply what you've learned today, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.